Welcome to the Omnic Recap. Every Sunday, we look back at what happened during the past week in Overwatch. This week, there was only one topic on everybody's mind, the Overwatch 2 beta. Rumors have been flying left and right. New demo servers went up. The dev servers got a 2.0 build, which was changed the next day. It has been a roller coaster ride for sure. And I think I might have an idea on what is going on here. But more about that in a minute. Because remember when I said that there was only one topic? Well, that wasn't completely true. See, on Friday, Arnold Sung announced that he is leaving Blizzard after 12 years working for the company. Arnold was the character art director for Overwatch 2. He had his hand in the look of a lot of the characters that we play today, and their skins. And he also was one of the more public faces on the team. And he's not the only one that left. Early in the week, Tracy Kennedy, one of the producers on Overwatch 2, announced that she's starting something new. Tracy is the person that spoke up when Bobby Kotick blamed the delays of Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 for the value of the Activision Blizzard shares dropping. That's still one of the best jokes I've heard all year, Bobby. But anyways, while Arnold did not share his reasons for leaving, Tracy stated in her tweets that she's just tired of fighting, and that corporate management at Blizzard was a direct reason for her leaving. Most likely a decision that she made amidst the whole storm that we had in the last 2 months. And sure, things might change once that deal with Microsoft is signed, but that is still a long time away. And I can imagine that at some point that cross just becomes too heavy to bear. Let's just hope we don't see an exodus of other talented people. Now, both Arnold and Tracy had nothing but good to say about both the team and the game that they're making. A team that stands for what we expected Blizzard to be. I wish them both the best in their future endeavors. I can't wait to see what they'll be doing next. But yeah, this was exactly what I was talking about a few weeks ago. As long as current management is in place, talented people will leave. Will this impact Overwatch 2? Not that much for now. Arnold had a really talented team around him, and they've had ample time to set the tone for the game in the years to come. But if more of those people start leaving, well, let's just hope that it doesn't come to that. Now back to the main topic. In case you missed my last videos, there are some stubborn rumors that something big, something Overwatch 2 related, is coming in the 3rd week of February. Most people seem to think that it is either going to be a beta announcement, or a beta that will start in April with the launch of the new Overwatch League season, or that it is going to be the actual release of the beta in February. Now the evidence in question, I'm starting to feel like Sherlock Holmes here, but less British, and no pipe, and a beard. Yeah, never mind. First off, there were the content creators that had a secret meeting back in December. And they all came out of that meeting extremely excited about the future of Overwatch 2, just to make that clear. All of them had signed an NDA, so they couldn't share anything, but their tweets said enough. There was this one person, however, who shared more info that he had with a YouTuber called Worst Sombra, and he told him that there was a build that was going to be released in January, but that got pushed back. He did not know when it was going to be released, but he did know that something big is coming in the 3rd week of February. Next, Mike Agbier, the leader at Blizzard, stated that Overwatch news is coming in the next few weeks. NDP, a community manager for Overwatch, shared in a reply to a post that he'll be a different kind of busy in just a few weeks. Are the former Overwatch streamers that are starting to play the game again. And then this week, there was the new server. As you might or might not know, there's a lot of Overwatch servers out there. There are the public and PTR servers that we know and that we play on. But besides those two, there's a lot of hidden servers, like the tournament server for esports, the vendor servers, the viewer servers. All these servers are listed and hidden somewhere in the Battle.net client. Early this week, a new server was added to that list called Demo 2, and this server is on a 1.50 build. Peculiar numbers since the live game is on build 1.68. And on top of that, 1.50 is an oddly round number, isn't it? More about that in a second. See, they also updated the existing dev server, and that server started out with a 2.0 number, like in Overwatch 2. Both builds were encrypted and not playable by normal users. But this was the first time that there was such a clear reference to Overwatch 2 in the Battle.net client. The next step would be them just adding the icon somewhere. Now the next day, the version name of that dev server was changed to something with a 1.50 number, which is a weird turn of events. Let's dive in and brace yourself, because this might get a little complicated, but it will help us to kind of understand my final conclusion. Oh, and all this information that I'm giving is based on how it kind of worked for the companies I work at or worked at the past. Blizzard might do things slightly different. Okay, the full version name of the Demo 2 server is 1.50.0.0.93186. Let's break that up. The last 5 digits on that version name is called the build ID. It basically is a unique identifier for that build. Now, a build is when they take all the resources all the code that the developers, the artists, the whole team has put in the project are being wrapped up in one piece into a program or a game in this case that you can run on a console or on a PC. Before the build, that is just thousands and thousands of separate files. Now, the higher that build number, the later that build was made. Makes sense, right? Now, the first 5 digits on that version name is a version number, and that version number is less tied into the code. It is more targeted towards the content of that patch. You kind of pin that patch on the roadmap. It basically defines the features for that patch as we see them in the patch notes. Let's give an example. The current patch, which is patch 1.68.0.0.92.111. That is the Lunar New Year patch. They decided before they started working on that patch what would be in the update. That was the event content, the mercy change, and some bug fixes. They labeled it 1.68.0.0 and started working on it. And as they kept working on it, the last 5 digits, which is the build number, kept going up because there were issues with the builds that they made. So they had to make changes and rebuild it. Then they ended up with build 92111, which they deemed worthy to be released. So any version can have a lot of different build numbers, depending on how smooth things go. Now, in case they have to fix something after they release the patch, because there are breaking issues, for instance, they would have to bump up the version number, which is the first 5 digits. So something like 1.68.0.1. At that point, we would also have seen that the build number would have gone up to something like 92115. It took them 4 builds to fix it. Amateurs? So that is how that basically kind of works in general. Now that everybody is on board, let's have a look at those new servers. Demo 2 has a version name of 1.50.0.0.93186. The dev server started out with 2.00.7.0.93221, but then it was changed to 1.50.0.0.93221. Now at the first glance, you would think that that dev server was rolled back to an old build, but it wasn't. Because the build number, the last 5 digits, are still the same, 93221. So they only changed the first 5 digits, the version number, the 1.50.0.0. Why did they do that? When Overwatch 2 is going to be released, that version name is going to start out with 2.00. It is the second installment of a released product. The first big patch that they're going to release with new content will start out with 2.01. And that will keep going up as they add new maps, new heroes, they do new events. They'll then release an expansion, for instance, then it might switch to 3.00. Now, the original Overwatch game started out with 1.00. So, if they are about to release a beta, but it's going to be PvP only, without the PvE part, which is basically half of the game, what would you label it? What is half between 1.00 and 2.00? 1.50. So might we get an open beta with just PvP, which is basically early access. And then later on we'll get the full 2.00, which is PvP plus PvE release. They just pushed out the demo server with a bit of a symbolic number, which they only intended to have for external use, for us basically, because they know we're watching that number. They also updated the dev server, which is not intended for use by normal users, and that actually had the internal version number, which was 2.00.7. Whatever. Then they saw a lot of us making videos about it, and they decided to also give it the symbolic number, just not to confuse us, which, yeah, too late. But it is still the same build, so the code did not change. Now, that's all good, but in the end, we aren't much wiser on what is actually going to be in that update. The only thing we know is that something definitely is up. There are too many indicators. The fact that they're adding new servers, updating the old servers, tells me that there's going to be more than just an announcement at the end of February. But the big questions here are, who will have access? What will be included? New maps, new heroes, new modes? Or just the same stuff that we have today in 5 vs 5 and with retuned heroes, a new interface and some of the sound changes? Only Blizzard knows. And some of the content creators, not me. As normal folk, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in just 2 weeks. But for now, however, that was it. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys in my streams or in my next video. Till then, bye-bye.